Um, well, there's a game. If you didn't know, it is a game, and in this game, always the cheater wins. What do I mean by cheating? Cheating not in the sense of doing things in an illegal way. And I'm going to use a very simple example. Do you remember when you were in high school or primary or whatever the level you were in school or maybe college or campus? They used to tell you, they give you a sum of mathematics. You have to do it by yourself. Do not pay anybody to do it. Do not consult. Do it alone. They actually created that sort of a sense of just do it by yourself. And if that is the norm, go to these big companies. Why do they employ auditors? Why do they bring accountants? Why wouldn't you do your own mathematics? Why do they bring them there, and so that at least, hey, guess what? Balance our mathematics, do this, do the other things. Why do people delegate things? Why don't you then go ahead and, let's say you are running a company, there is an IT department, there is an accountant department, there is a finance department, there is a sales department, there is a human resource. Why do they have all this? Why can't you just be the person who is running everything? What does it mean? See, when you delegate the responsibilities, it simply means you're bringing up guys who actually get the skills or do have the understanding of that particular thing. You bring their skills on board, you bring your idea and such. By the way, did you know one thing? Sometimes people have this understanding like, hey, if I am a teacher, then by virtue of me being a teacher, then if I open a school, I'll be successful. No. There is two things in a business. There is a professional part of the business and there is the business part of the business. Let me just repeat. If you go to a typical example of a hospital, there is a professional part of the hospital. That is being a doctor, being a nurse, being a caretaker, being a whatever, anesthesia, whatever, all those guys, you find them in a typical hospital, okay? And then there is the business of the hospital. That's what you're supposed to understand. And if you view hospital just a place where you get the health care, good health and all those kind of things, there are doctors, and you always consume the professional part of the business. You never view the business or the entrepreneurial part of the business or the part of the engagement. You're never gonna make more money. Guess what? The moment you actually incline yourself towards the professional part, you always be paid based on how much the other person is. For example, in Kenya, if you're an intern doctor, I think you'll get paid, I think it's a 210,000 Kenyan shilling. That's like $2,000. That's what if you're an internship. That is it. That's the norm. I mean, if you just graduate as a doctor, that's the money. And the government of Kenya was saying, hey, we should be paying you 70,000, but okay, fine. Let's assume it's 10,000, okay? I mean, 210,000, okay? That is the amount. You did not define how much to be paid. You've gotten the laid system. For example, in Kenya, I think the entry, if you're a high school teacher, the entry amount of money, I think is around 45,000. That's like 400 and something dollars, something or something of that in a month. You don't define that. It is there. But the moment you get into the business or the entrepreneurial part of it, you define your own terms. And wealth is a game that you have to be a cheater. Cheater in the sense that you have to steal time. For example, in a 24-hour system or in a 24 hours day, of which it's common and sort of standard to everyone, there is someone who makes 1,000 shilling, there's someone who makes 2, there's someone who makes 4, there's someone who makes 10, there's someone who makes 1,000,000 shilling. Like we have the CEOs in Kenya who make 1,000,000, over 1,000,000 in a day. 1,000,000, over 1,000,000 in a day. These guys are paid over 33 million in a month. Now the question is this: why do this guy get to be paid that compared to this guy who's being paid 450 Kenyan shillings? That's like $4.5 in a day. Why the difference? Why that difference? This happens with the perceived value. And at the same time, the thing that you're supposed to understand in the game of wealth, number one, it has two factors that has to remain constant, whether you love it or you don't. It does not care who you are, it changes. For example, if you go to Japan and jump from a skyscraper, you're gonna die because the gravity applies to everyone. Those are things that you cannot shake them off. It's standard, it has to be like that. Now, one that you're supposed to understand when it comes to wealth, it takes time. It is time consuming. There is a time factor. So then if you know you are impatient, then you do not possess that quality that is needed for you to be termed wealthy, for you to actually accumulate the wealth. Did you get what I'm saying? So you must be patient. Patience is that thing that you have to understand one thing. Okay, fine. This thing is not paying me now. Well, I got myself into a money market fund. I did put 10,000. I'm getting a couple of shillings, maybe 3, 4, 5, 6, whatever. It's just close to negligible amount of money. But It is what it is. I'm committing myself to putting 2,000 each and every day, or rather in a month, or maybe day if you're in a position to, towards that money market fund. And I'm looking at it from the lenses of an year, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 from today. I'm going to be somewhere. This is the amount of money that I'm going to have each and every, or rather, by the time I'm doing this, I'm going to, for example, say you're at your 30 and be like, okay, by the time I'm 45, I'm going to be having probably, I don't know, I'm going to be having kids in university and what have you. That means that I'll need a lot of money. Or maybe say at 50, I'll be called a grandparent. I'll be having the grandchildren. Therefore, I need to be that uncle who is not a stubborn to everyone. So I have to be like, so from now to 55, say you're 30, you need 25 years. Therefore, I'm going to be throwing 2,000 each and every month towards a money market fund for the next 25 years. Yeah, I know the moment someone says 25 years sounds strange to you. That's a long time. One day you'll be shocked. It wasn't a long time. I mean, today, right now, if you get 10 years from now, when you're watching this video, how old were you? Okay, now, good. Where you are right now at 10 years, where will you be? Okay, fine. Forget about all those things, okay? Do you have a kid? Okay. Take 10 years, add to that kid. How old will the kid? Let's say the kid is 2 years. The kid will be 12 years. The kid is barely, even, they are not even joined the high school, according to the Kenyan curriculum. Did you just get what I'm saying? It is not a long time as you thought. Okay, fine. You're not married. Oh, okay, fine. Take 10 years, okay? Draw 10 years into you. Let's say you marry next year. So you'll be married how long? 8 years. Or let's say 9 years, okay? Assuming you take another whole year for you to get a kid. Let's say if you, whatever, it takes 9 months for you to get a kid. You understand what I'm saying, okay? That's another year. So you'll be having 7 years, okay? Now, 7 years. So basically your kid will be 7 years, okay? Let's go check what is the 7-year-old kid doing? Oh, 7-year-old kid is actually somewhere, guess what? Just a primary level, I don't know, grade 1 or 2 or whatever the thing it is. You really need cash, don't you? Thank you. Oh, and by the way, guess what? Even if you invest or not, 10 years will elapse. Fine, let's go back to the time. Time, you have to be patient. You have to understand. You may not be able to get the reward today, but you're going to get it. So time is one parameter, one factor that you cannot shake it off. 2, the game of wealth, you must be somebody who is consistency. Consistency or consistent, depends. I don't know the verb, the adverbs and whatever. Now, you have to be consistent in anything that you're doing. And I'm going to use a very simple example. While if you live in a flat roof, you may not be able to borrow this idea. But anyway, it is what it is. Go check just an iron sheet roof. The one that has a groove where the water just drips and whatever. There's a place where the water hits constantly each and every time. If a drop of water hits your hand, from a roof, it's not really, it's not a thing that can actually injure you. Just a drop of water, for the God's sake. Can you imagine this? If you go to that roof and check where that water drips each and every time, say it rains, there is actually a mark that has been made. It's because of the consistency. As much as it's harmless, how harmless it is with that it doesn't have that force. But if it hits at the same time continuously, each and every time it's hitting at the same time, ta, 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 ta. Okay, do you have a car? If you do have a car, you can just look at the steering that you usually hold. If you hold that steering each and every time, actually you realize that the ink or painting on that, not the ink actually is painting on that steering wheel actually wears out. Not that you are doing the rafting. No, the idea was not actually the wrapping out the paint, and you're not even concentrating. It's just holding it, turning it, spinning it, without even you realizing. You're like, wow, I need a steering cover. Did you just realize that? Those small things, and this is what I always tell people, take care of notes, or rather take care of coins, and the notes will take care of themselves. Take care of minor things, and major ones will take care of themselves. It's as simple as that. Consistency, being in that, doing that specific thing. No, just keep off the distraction. Keep your eyes on that. Keep your eyes on that. Keep on doing that continuously. Keep on doing that until you become a professional on that specific thing that you do. Let me tell you one secret. Nobody became wealthy by doing multiple things when they were starting. I don't know why I can tell you. Yes, we say an average millionaire has 7 streams of income. True. But when they were starting, nobody started. There is no way you can start 7 businesses at the same time. You have a pharmacy, if, you have a barber shop, you have a salon, you have a cosmetics, you have a cereals, you have a you can't. You start with one thing. You understand that thing as much as you can. You become the best person, the perfect person on that. And then that thing you've created, as you know everything about it. You understand it better than anyone else. You're making money from that specific thing. Cash is flowing in. Now, to safeguard this cash that is flowing in, you start another venture and another one and another one. Remember one thing, we make money by specialization and we safeguard it by diversification. That is what you're supposed to understand. So consistency is an essential thing that you need in this game called wealth making. And now we go to the third thing that you need as far as the wealth making is concerned. You need to be disciplined. Discipline. What does it mean? It means that you have to operate under SOPs. There are things we call them the SOPs, the standard operating procedures. Do you have them? What are your SOPs? The standard operating procedures. Do you know who you are? Do you have your own? Do people know you by your standards? And do you adhere to your standards? Do you respect them to a point where even people respect you? For example, a president, there are some SOPs that you expect. The moment, let's say, for example, in your village, let's say, or whatever the place that you live, let's say a president has to visit. Of course, there are things that you'll expect. The security details will be there. Let's say maybe in some days to come, or even sometimes a month to come. They will be there, scrutinizing the place, making sure the president will be safe, knowing each and every bit, where are the roofs, where are the what, where the grounds, the security. Those are the standard operating procedures of the president. You get what I'm saying? Even when the president is addressing the nation, we don't expect the guy to show up on a vest. We expect in a suit, assuming he's a gentleman. And if he's a lady, of course, in a decent clothing. Not in a ragged and... You get what I'm saying? And I'm not saying ragged are bad. I'm just saying that there's some of the things that... I mean, again, you cannot expect you to go to swim on a suit. my fellow Kenyans, when they go to, we have a beach at the coast area called Mombasa, and the Mombasa guys, they call us bara, watu wa bara. Watu wa bara means the people from the continent. People, I don't know why they even call us the watu wa bara. Those people who come from the interior part of the country, and then when they show up to the place, guys are on a suit, and the place is very hot. So you find somebody does not even know how to swim, just taking pictures close to the ocean, and anyway, that's not the point. The point is, you have to be disciplined. What are your standard operating procedures? You keep time. You do not go below your integrity issues. You're known for integrity purposes. You're actually a man of your word or a lady of your word. People know you. What are your standard operating? Because you cannot. In this game, you must be operating. Go take or go grab. And by the way, don't grab any politician in Africa. And if there is one, I'm yet to see who. Most of them, I'm not saying all of them, most of them, there are people who you cannot even borrow any idea as far as they interpret. They don't know entrepreneurship. Most of them. I do not say all of them. Some are great before they go into the power. They are very good and great entrepreneur guys. Yeah. Now the point is, go grab something who has a substance, somebody who is wealthy, and just look at. Don't even ask them a question. Just look the way they behave, the way they talk, how they dress, whom they relate with, how they articulate their time, and all those kind of. You realize there is a certain pattern they assume. That is called the discipline. Sticking to your lane. So the game of the wealth, you have to have all those three things. A respect of time, you have to be consistency, and you have to have the discipline for you being consistency and a respect of time. It revolves around those three things. And in anything that you do, you're gonna be perfect as much as you can. There's a reality and there's a fact. And that's why we say in the game of wealth, you have to assume those three things. And that is good justice speaking. If you'd like to get any of my good services, go ahead and grab that number from the description of this specific video, and you can as well go ahead, go ahead and do so. Subscribe, like the video, leave me a comment, and make sure that you like the video. For now, it's goodbye and see you in the next one.